All right, my beautiful people, this is ERGJ back here with another video, just an update on the Baton Rouge shooting that took place on July 17th, 2016, about 10 a.m. in the morning. Again, as we always start here, first I just want to say, hey, go ahead if you are feeling some of the stuff that we're doing here, go ahead and like the page or dislike it. Either one that helps out. And then also, share or tell someone else about what we're doing here. We're trying to start a grassroots movement. And so that is a comment upon your support to keep pushing this forward and keep getting this message out to people. Because quite honestly, guys, everyone needs to hear this. So let's just start here, man, with again, propaganda. In case you don't know, propaganda is legal. It's legal for the United States government to lie to the American people and also our foreign allies, not allies, but foreign audiences. In 2012, this law was passed through the National Defense Authorization Act, and it gives the U.S. government has unbound the legal regulations against using propaganda against foreign audiences and American citizens. The intention is to sway public opinion by using television, radio, newspapers, and social media targeting the American and foreign people in controlled psyops. Controlled psyops. That would be staged operations. That would be scripted things. Real life Hollywood, guys. That things are scripted. Things don't always go as planned, but scripted. The amendment added to the NDAA has passed into implementation as of 2013, 2012, 2013. So understand that these big media conglomerates, the same people own and control the media, they actually do own and control a lot of the government, and they push forth the agenda for the government or for the higher ups. So they push forth this agenda, and so as we think about the agenda that's going forth with the attack or the ambush on in Baton Rouge, let's pick up this story. Now I can go way back. We can go back to it's all about racial divide, right? That is the MO. And in this particular case, what we're talking about an agenda being is a race war and gun control. They're trying to push forth legislature to control the guns held by the American citizens, really held by the poor people. And so in a way in which they're able to pass legislation without there being much of a fight, it's so consumed with the fight that we have. And what would that fight be? Well, that fight would be a race war. Us fighting one another. They pass legislation, it passes, and now guess what? They take all of our guns, they change the Bill of Rights or whatever it is that they can do. They amend the Bill of Rights and limit our access to guns. They may not be able to take them totally away, but they limit our access to being able to get guns for ourselves. Our right to bear arms, we have the right to bear arms, but then if they limit or restrict our ability to be able to get those arms, well, we still have the right, but now we don't have the access. So gun control is the agenda, the ultimate agenda. And why? Well, guys, if we were to come together and unite and say, you know what, we are tired of this mess, and we wanted to fight whoever it is we wanted to fight, whatever organization we wanted to fight, and it required us to have a physical fight. If it required for us to have a physical fight, we wouldn't have the manpower. We wouldn't have the gunpowder to go against their guns. So gun control is important to them. If they're able to take the guns out of our hands, then it's going to make it easier for the establishment to have total domination. So what are we going to do today? What are we going to do today, Brain? Well, Pinky, the same thing we do every day. Try and take over the world. Now, here's the deal. Most of you guys don't get that. You guys don't understand that cartoon is all about world domination, and that's what we see today. So let's go ahead and just talk about the shooting and update. Now, obviously, we got, they have released the shooter, and they have released one of the officers that got hit or that got shot, and that's dead now. So a Missouri man ambushed. Look at this word, ambush. Again, the same word they used in Dallas. There's reports coming out, and there's been witnesses that come out and say it wasn't an ambush at all. But guess what? Every witness that didn't go with the agenda of the story that they wanted to tell, they discounted. Just watch CNN. If you watch any of the witnesses, they'll be like, oh, no, that can't be true. Let's not believe that. So they're discounting a lot of the eyewitnesses' story so they can mold the narrative to be the story they want us to receive. And he ambushed and killed 3 law officers and wounded 3 others in Baton Rouge on Sunday during a time when police nationwide and in Louisiana City in particular have been on high alert after 5 officers were killed in Dallas, ambushed July 7th. So here's a contradiction, guys. If the police have been on high alert, then how in the world did they get ambushed? You've been on high alert. You just saw something happen in Dallas. You're saying that your city cops have been on high alert, but you've been ambushed. And then you say how can you say you've been ambushed if you say you got a call that told you that there's someone was out walking the street, walking the highway with an assault rifle? That doesn't sound like an ambush. That sounds like you knew that somebody had a gun. That's not an ambush. But of course, again, they're using the words and using verbiage to sway public opinion with their media. Sway public opinion based off the words that they use and how they conjure up the story. Now, Louisiana State Police announced last week that they have received credible threats of lethal plots against Baton Rouge police and had arrested 3 men and a 13-year-old boy. I have no idea what this has to do with this story, but for some reason they wanted to put it in. So they probably get calls all the time about some credible threats or some lethal plots to kill or to hurt officers. That's probably something that's pretty routine in their line of business. But at any rate, they wanted to throw that in there to kind of link us to some things that have been happening that other people have been calling that they've been able to arrest some people. I'm not quite sure why that's there, but you guys can help me figure it out. Now, on Sunday, a man identified as Gavin Long, his name was Gavin, I think Eugene Long of Kansas City, went on a shooting rampage. He's on a rampage. On his 29th birthday, on his 29th birthday, this guy decided he was going to go out with a bang. Yeah, come on, give me a break. Had left 2 police officers and a sheriff deputy dead. Police sources said Long, who was an African-American, he was a former Marine who spent time in Iraq and was discharged at the rank of sergeant. This is a sergeant. So now what they can do is you can say, okay, well, he was a former Marine. They can link him now to post-traumatic syndrome of some sort. It seems like everyone that comes out of the Army is crazy. And if that's the case, then why don't we fix something with the Army? But anyway, he's an ex-Marine. He's left with the rank of a sergeant, a respectful man, you would say. He fought for our country, and now he's going crazy, buck wild, and he's going on a rampage against his brotherhood, if you think about it, because the military, I don't know what they call it, but if you're not in the military, you're a civilian. So and police officers aren't considered civilians. They're considered, in authority. They're like a branch of the military in a sense. You guys can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but how I look at them, I say, hey, you're high ranking. You're a little bit above a civilian. As a police officer, you're kind of in the same rank when you're serving and protecting the country. So this guy went against his own brethren in his own club and just went buck wild. Give me a break. Now, here's the next thing. Police have not released the names of the victims, but one was identified by family members as Officer Montrell Jackson, and that's this guy here, by his aunt. Now, here's my question. It's not like they don't know the police officers that passed away. I mean, they got badges. They know who they are. They recognize them. But one officer got leaked. Why don't we see all of the officers? Why haven't they released and let us know who all the officers that were shot and killed or that were injured? There's a reason why they're delaying this stuff. I don't know what that reason is, because they could clearly just let us know, hey, this officer, this officer, this officer, this officer, if they wanted to. But they're spreading the story out. We're going to get more information tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Can't give them all the information at one time. Why? Well, guys, this news stuff, especially stuff like this causes what they call ratings. The longer they draw it out, the drama out, the more people are going to tune in and watch and want to know what's going on and keep their eyes glued to that television. That's what happens. So Montrell Jackson had posted on Facebook on July 8th how physically and emotionally drained he had been since protests had erupted in Baton Rouge after July 5th killed outside stolen by police. He stresses disappointment in some family, friends, officers for some reckless comments. But hey, what's in your heart is in your heart. I still love you all because hate takes out too much energy. But I definitely won't be looking at you the same, the post read. Now, here's kind of where it kind of gets a little fishy. So if this guy who passed away in this shooting, if he said some things that were contrary to the brotherhood, could this possibly be a situation where he was taken out? You know, if we believe that this is a contrived story, if we believe that it was propaganda, it's a situation where you have a controlled psyop or a staged event. Is it possible that his comments going against where some reckless comments that he made or posted on Facebook that were insensitive to the police? Could it be a situation where this brother, this officer, was considered a threat and was taken out? I don't know. I haven't done my research on Montreal Jackson. I'm just saying there's a lot of possibilities here. Obviously, we only got one officer. We need 3, but it would be interesting to see. So he said, "I swear to God, I love this city, but I wonder if this city loves me." Look at that. So you got to ask yourself, guys. Why would they even bring up a Facebook post that he had from July 8th? Why is this relevant at this point to him being dead in an attempt to take down a rogue killer who's walking around the highway with a assault rifle? Why is his post from Facebook on July 8th relevant to this story? Other than they want to give us this information, you know what I'm saying, to make us feel a certain way about this cop. I swear to God, I love this city, but I wonder if this city loves me. In uniform, I get nasty, hateful looks, and out of uniform, and hateful looks, and out of uniform, some consider me a threat. I've experienced so much in my short life, and these last 3 days have tested me to the core. When people you know begin to question your integrity, you realize they don't really know you at all. These are trying times. Please don't let hate infect your heart. Listen, if he wrote this sounds like a brother who was ready to crack, who was ready to spill his guts, quite possibly, and let the world know, or let someone know what he may know. He's considered a threat. Why is this relevant? Other than the media, again, mocking us as people and looking at this and not really asking ourselves, man, why would they even tell us this? And here's what they do. They know most of us are so ignorant. Most of us are to the point where we don't care. We won't even read this stuff. So they figure they're going to put it out there and no one's going to question it. I mean, how is this July 8th Facebook post relevant to this man being dead now by a lone rogue ex-Marine who happened to be walking down the street with an assault rifle, who somehow in a way you knew he had an assault rifle, but he ambushed you as trained law officers or trained officers. He ambushed you, but you knew he was there and he had a gun. Doesn't make much sense. So I'm gonna stop right here, guys. I mean, I can go on and on. I just want to get an update real quick. The picture of, let's see if we can get a picture of this killer. What was his name again? Gavin Long. It's probably surfacing up now. We probably got some pictures of him or something. I'm not quite sure. No, still no real pictures of this cat. Not here. That's the officer that died. I'll get the picture that I saw. Is this the guy? Here's another picture. I didn't see this one. Is this him? This looks like him. Gavin Eugene Long. Here's another picture of the guy. Right here. This is the picture of the shooter. So, at any rate, Montreal Jackson has passed away. I pray for the families that have lost some family members, those that are injured, even the shooter. I mean, I pray for his family. They've lost a son tonight. There's a lot of violence. There's a call for end of violence. We had Obama that spoke up as well. We can get into that as well. It's so much to the story, guys. But I try not to keep my videos too long, just to give you some nuggets for you to think about. But my takeaways tonight from this is we already knew the narrative was going to play out, that it had to be a black man that did the shooting. They're also getting to the point where they're saying that it was, it was only him alone. that killed 3 cops and hurt another 3 after they knew he was out walking the street with an assault rifle and they knew he had a gun, but some kind of way he was able to take out 3 officers or ambush 3 officers and hurt another. Give me a break. We see one of the officers that went down. He had some comments before he passed on the Facebook post that were highly suspect and critical. I'm not quite sure if this was a hit on Montrell Jackson or the other cops, but that is something that is plausible at this point for this controlled psyop. And again, once we get the identities of the other 2 cops, that may help us to see a little bit more. But at the end of the day, guys, the agenda is gun control. They want us fighting one another, blacks against whites, fighting one another, Democrats against Republicans, focusing on everything that will divide us so they can continue to move forward and push forward their agenda, their laws, in order to have the world how they want it. Hey, again, if you like what I'm doing here, go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and share the video. Share the channel with other people so they know where they can come and have open conversation, open dialogue about what's going on in the world that we see today. I don't have all the answers. I'm just sharing some of my original thoughts from what I see, because I'm no longer in the matrix. I'm no longer controlled by what mainstream media puts in front of my face. I take a moment to critically think about what they show me, and I just present those thoughts. And I like to have the open dialogue with you as well, because you see and hear some things differently. And I think if we can all begin to have conversation and talk and not debate, not argue, but even possibly debate, but having open conversation, what I say is intelligent conversation, because you may say some things that is going to cause my mind to go to another level. And I may say some things that may cause your mind to go to another level. And as we do that, guys, we will begin to see truth for what truth really is. And that's the only goal. What is truth? Your curiosity. It should invoke you. It should inspire you. It should challenge you to look for truth. And as you do that, guys, as you find truth, the truth will set you free.